Any objection? Can be so tabled. Question number 9, Denis O'Rourke.
This question is to the Minister of Social Development. Does she consider the direct deduction policy of overseas pensions from New Zealand Superannuation under Section 70 of the Social Security Act 1964 to be fair and consistent?
Honourable Craig Foss.
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister, as I answered a very similar question to this 3 weeks ago, yes.
Supplementary question, Denis O'Rourke.
When an overseas pension is paid to a pensioner, what justification is there for applying Section 70 to the spouse with respect to their entitlement to New Zealand superannuation?
Honourable Craig Foss.
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister, the spouse deduction is just one aspect of the direct deduction policy. The rationale for the direct deduction policy is that all New Zealanders receive the equivalent amount of New Zealand super. This may be made up of the full amount of New Zealand super or a combination of an overseas pension and a reduced amount of New Zealand super. This applies to individuals and couples.
Supplementary question, Denis O'Rourke.
Has the Minister received legal advice on the human rights implications of applying Section 70 to the spouse of a pensioner who receives an overseas pension? And if so, does that advice raise the possibility of a claim under the Human Rights Act by the spouse?
Honourable Craig Foss.
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister, I understand that the Minister has not received advice on that matter.
Supplementary question, Denis O'Rourke.
How would the Minister respond to a human rights class action by New Zealand superannuitants affected by the direct deduction of overseas pensions?
Honourable Craig Foss.
On behalf of the Minister, I'm sure the Minister would seek advice on such matters.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Denis O'Rourke.
Does she review the use of her Chief Executive's discretion under Section 70 insofar as they affect overseas occupational pensions under the direct deduction policy? And if so, when was the last such review?
Mr Speaker,
Honourable Craig Foss.
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister, I understand the last comprehensive review of all of these matters was in 2007 under the Labour New Zealand First government, of which no substantive changes to any of these matters were made.
Question number 10, Chris Hipkins.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Education. Has she read and